30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat?
In another Army Research Laboratory document, it depicts a diagram showing a flat Earth, crepuscular rays that we mentioned earlier, and a near and localized sun.
The reason we can't go through the firmament is because it's a different vibrational field.
Standing under a glass ceiling right now.
Welcome back. My name is Renee, and this is Highly Motivated, a channel where we check out different things that I find interesting, and hopefully you will too. Today, we are going to be challenging the notion that we live on a globe. For as long as I can remember, and as long as this country has been founded, we have been taught in school that we are living on a globe that is spinning through space thousands of miles. And up until recently, it was pretty widely accepted. Now that we have internet and we are able to study more and have more information than we have ever had, it has been brought to many people's attention that we are the only civilization to ever think we were living on a globe. And that, of course, made me wonder, why is that? And do we have proof that we are really living on a flat plane? Well, we're going to get into that. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and without further ado, let's get into this. Documented proof that is from NASA.
This next
And the
point
CIA.
I found extremely interesting. Official documentation claiming the Earth is flat, and that mathematical equations used in aeronautics assume a flat, non-rotating Earth. Check these out. This is a CIA document sourced from the Russians, and it's titled Dissertations Defended in the Scientific Council of the Institute of Physics of the Earth. In the document, it mentions a near sun and a formula that is derived on the assumption of a flat Earth. This United States Army document from the Army Research Laboratory on the propagation of electromagnetic fields over flat Earth mentions transmitters placed on the surface of a flat, idealized Earth. In one of its figures, it also mentions flat Earth. In another Army Research Laboratory document, it depicts a diagram showing a flat Earth, crepuscular rays that we mentioned earlier, and a near and localized sun. Here's another document on projectile flight dynamics, and the equations in the document assume a flat Earth. Here's a NASA document on the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. Introduction. This report details the development of the linear model of rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA document on the SR-71 Blackbird and its top speed of 2,193 miles per hour. Maneuvers depending on a non-turbulent atmosphere and a non-rotating Earth. Federal Aviation Administration document. Equations of motion assuming a flat, non-rotating Earth. Another NASA document. A rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. An aircraft model for the AIAA Controlled Design Challenge. Flight dynamics of a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Technical Paper 1285, Flat, Non-Rotating Earth. A NASA Georgia Tech project in conjunction with the U.S. Air Force. A model frequently used is that of a flat, non-rotating Earth. You might argue that some of these documents are taken out of context, but you have to admit that a lot of these flight calculations are based on a flat, non-rotating Earth because they come right out and say it.
Okay, so do you think it's coincidence that all of their calculations that have to do with flight of these aircraft are based on a flat, non-rotating Earth? How many of you believe that the actual map is what the UN map looks like? I'm of that camp. Let me know in the comments. All right, here we go.
You're right, there is a firmament. The thing that you have wrong about it is that it's made of glass. The firmament's not made of glass. The reason we can't go through the firmament is because it's a different vibrational field. That is to say, the same vibrational fields that hold my body together or my hand together, instead of it flying off into a million billion different molecules and atoms, is the frequency of this place we live in. I mean, look at any audio frequency test. Put sand on a speaker, give it different frequencies. What happens? They take shape, they take form.
Wow, it's almost as if we had a creator. It's really not. Isn't it funny how what these NASA documents in the previous video described and what the firmament suggests is that our Earth is exactly how it was described in the Book of Enoch. And if you have not read the Book of Enoch, I highly recommend you do. They cannot escape the dome.
We just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. Although we weren't able to shatter that hardest glass ceiling this time.
And you're not gonna.
It's got about 18 million cracks in it. We have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now. It may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
Why keep repeating that over and over again? Wow. This I found super fascinating because the idea of thunder essentially proves that we live in a closed system.
Thunder proves that there is a firmament above us.
Today I'm going to show you why thunder proves the dome above us. Thunder needs to hit a solid object to occur. You can't have a thunder without a starting point. This is easy to demonstrate. Here is a good example of what I mean.
I first bring out my Van de Graaff generator, then fill a bottle with water. I then place that on top of the Van de Graaff generator. I turn the Van de Graaff on, and this happens.
The sound of the thunder proves that there is a dome above us, because thunder doesn't produce multiple explosions, rather it produces one explosion sound.
Yes.
They call the thunder sound a thunderclap. This is because it sounds like a clap, but that clap has echo to it which make it sound like multiple sounds. In order to have an echo, you'll need to be inside a closed area, because sound waves needs to hit an object for an echo to occur. Here is a video of a guy blowing a balloon inside a nuclear power plant. When slowed down it sounds just like thunder. Light travels much faster than sound waves. That's why we see lighting occurs before the thunder sound.
Wow.
There are so many evidence for the dome. Sun dogs, rainbows, thunder are some of the ones that prove the firmament above us. The Earth is flat, closed, and stationary.
Yes.
Space is fake. Thank you for watching. Please share this video so more people know about this.
It's almost as if we were taught what to think instead of how to think. No wonder they couldn't stand those of us who couldn't pay attention in school. We were not meant to be in school 8 hours a day. We were not meant to be trained to be wage slaves. How many of you learned life skills at all in school? We have 19 different pilots confirming that the Earth is flat.
Or is it globe, mate? It's flat. This is flat. Thank you very much, mate. God bless.
A man asked the pilot if the Earth is flat.
Can I talk to the pilot, please?
Right here.
You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like for Delta, 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And
30 years, and what was that? I know it's flat, he says.
when you tell people that, do they think you're like crazy or no?
Only one person.
Only one person?
They built it for a flat, stationary Earth, and my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow and set the bottom of your L-strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same.
Are you a pilot?
Yes, sir.
One question.
Okay.
When you descend in the air,
Yeah.
do you dip or do you go straight?
It's straight.
Straight?
A little more with the nose out. That's it.
But straight. You don't dip
yeah.
into the...
No.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome, sir.
Have a great day.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No, there's no curvature?
It's just all flat.
What's up, pilot? Is the Earth flat or round? Flat. Thanks. I'm with you.
Pregunta controversial. Hay un debate ahora en YouTube especialmente en el que las personas se cuestionan que si la curvatura de la Tierra es observable o no es observable. No, a las alturas que vuelan esos aviones, usted no va haciendo ningún ajuste, va como si fuera parejito, sobre terreno. No, pero sí tiene una cosa que es más alto que normal, depende de lo que del caso del avión. Ok, la nariz va hacia arriba, sí, pero no tienen que buscar la curvatura, no, vuelan como si fuera sobre un plano. Sí, es lo que hace el avión. Bueno, muchas gracias, capitán. Que siga bien. Hasta luego.
Because they tell us, that at least in the U.S., the ground's moving at about 700 miles an hour left to right. And I was thinking that's kind of odd if you're landing, going north, or moving in the north direction.
No, the ground looks to us like it's standing still.
Yeah, not an issue, huh?
Yeah, no. You could probably see the Rockies from Kansas.
Wow.
But it's a clear day, but if it's smoky or hazy, obviously we can't see.
Excuse me, guys. I have a question for you.
One of us can answer it.
Do you guys adjust for curvature as you're flying through the air? The Earth's supposed to be a ball, right?
Yeah.
So should we be dipping down the nose of the plane to compensate for the curvature, or do you guys just? Or do you fly on over a flat plane?
Well, we're about a millimeter over a Boeing. We're not that high.
8 inches per mile squared is the official story of what the curvature drop should be. So a distance that far should. If you're 8 inches from the shore on a beach and your friend is rowing his boat out 1 mile away, the boat should be already hidden by the curvature. You guys don't see curve, you see horizon at eye level.
No, I mean, if you look at more of a curvature of the Earth, we're on the perpendicular, we're just on that tangent.
So
and
really,
that never changes.
Earth's flat.
Sorry?
Earth is flat.
Yeah, we know that. We've seen it every day.
Flat and stationary.
Exactly. Everybody else.
Well, you know that. You guys see the horizon at eye level, and you have to understand that if you're on a ball, as you rise from the ball, you would have to look down to see the horizon.
Yeah.
You don't ever see that. I look out the window of the plane, and I see horizon as far as I can see, flat.
What's different from the front?
Even from there. Your windows aren't that much different. Earth is flat. It's a big lie. You guys should look into it. You know it's flat. You guys fly over it every day. I know.
Oh!
You say it's flat? Yes. Yeah? Thank you very much.
Whenever you fly your plane, do you ever account for curvature?
No.
Do you ever account for Coriolis or Earth spin?
No.
Do you ever see the Earth curving?
No.
Does water find its level?
Yes.
Does it always find its level?
Yes.
Okay, so water always finds its level. Does water conform to its container?
Yes.
Y luego, además, aquí aparece como si fuera, no sé cómo le llamamos a esto, un anexo, un añadido, algo que se cose.
Sí, exactamente, un parchecito, que me recuerda a una persona muy especial. Plana y estacionaria, ¿se ve?
¿Plana? Sí. ¿Y no tiene algo de achatamiento? ¿No se ve no? Es cuando ya nos vamos a la órbita, ¿no?
La curvatura se ve cuando la cámara es de ojo de pez, como la que llevaba el que se tiró de Red Bull. Sí. Ahí sí que ves la curvatura, pero si la cámara es una cámara normal, se ve todo recto. Normalmente volamos a lo máximo, el techo del avión es 41.000 pies, que son 12 kilómetros, 800 metros o algo así. Sí. Pero normalmente volamos a 35, 37, que son
no se ve
10...
La curvatura.
No, hombre, no, según... a ver, yo he volado con el Lear a 47.000 pies, con el Lear del jet privado, que son unos 13 kilómetros, 600 o algo así, y tampoco.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
No.
No? What'd you see while we were up there?
Just the blue sky, white clouds.
Yeah, is it flat or?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Captain, someone wants to say hi, is that okay?
Oh.
Do you adjust for curvature when you get up to a certain altitude?
Well, yeah, when you see the sun coming up on the horizon, then well.
But the plane stays at an even pitch throughout the whole flight?
Yeah.
So I mean, not too much curvature to account for?
No.
More flat than anything?
Nope, you close your eyes, you won't have a clue.
True. More flat than anything?
What was that?
It's more flat than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Flat or a ball?
Flat. I think it's flat.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty flat to me.
It certainly does, doesn't it? And you've got that flat in.
Excuse me, do you mind?
Hey, how you doing?
Very well, how are you? So you know how we just took a flight of descent?
Yeah.
Did you have to compensate for curvature?
Yeah.
So did you just have to compensate for curvature due to the flight of descent as we landed just now?
No, not necessarily. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So the pilot just told me that the Earth is flat.
Hey, I just want to say thanks for the smooth flight.
Right.
I did have one question. Is there like a specific angle of downward tilt you have to fly at?
3 degrees.
3 degrees for the curvature of the Earth?
Oh, for the Earth?
Because,
No, we just fly over the troposphere.
Really?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
do you have to keep like kind of going down because?
No, we actually have to nose up. It flies. Yeah.
Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it?
Which one?
I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. True.
It's true? Okay, all right, cool.
All right.
God bless, brother.
Fact check, true.
I'm a fellow, Casey Josh, I'm a fellow just PPL, pilot here.
Yeah, nice.
I got a couple of serious questions to ask you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's a big time. Curvature.
Curvature?
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't allow for curvature, do we?
Yeah, for anything, not here usually.
No, we're round, we're a disc, aren't we? Round and flat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, look, honestly, quite seriously,
Yeah.
we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
All of those flight patterns only work on a flat Earth model, not on a ball Earth model. And I know so many people like get upset about this. Like they defend their programming so hard. If they spent the amount of time researching truly with an open mind these things rather than calling us dumb or defending the programming, they might come to a different conclusion. Now we're gonna see what happens when this rocket hits the firmament.
Watch this rocket hit the firmament.
It's like it can only go so high and then it gets stuck. Alright, lastly, we have a gentleman exposing NASA in court.
Afternoon, Commissioners.
Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions.
Bubbles in space.
How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space. Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or...
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you believe, those are some fishy little details. Why are there strings? Why are you using green screens? Why now have you had 2 accidents with astronauts having water in their helmets? And while we funnel all these tax dollars, what are you really actually doing if there is no space and you can't go there? Now, NASA's also the #1 consumer of helium because, little known fact, satellites are hanging in lower Earth orbit from helium balloons. But I hope you may have learned something, or I've at least piqued your interest to go research a little more about some of these topics. I thank you for coming back and joining me again. And until next time, stay highly motivated, guys.